NASDAQ dropped 20, the S&P lower by 9, oil up to $60.93 a barrel. This is SRN News.
Yeah, rabbits are cute. Squirrels, too, till they ruin your garden, feasting on your plants. Get yourself some Ortho Animal Be Gone. Animal Be Gone uses ingredients that little critters are naturally repelled by, but it won't hurt them. And the no-stink formula works without smelling horrible. Animal Be Gone from Ortho. We don't hurt them. We just chase them. Guaranteed. Learn more about how Animal Be Gone lives up to its name at ortho.com. Use only as directed.
Get things done with power, comfort, and speed in a Kubota RTV utility vehicle. Now you can get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 4 years during our More Power to You sales event. 0 down, 0% APR financing for terms up to 48 months on select equipment now through June 30th, 2015. Not available for rental, national accounts, governmental customers, or with some customer instant rebate offers. Financing through Kubota Credit Corporation, USA, subject to credit approval. Other exceptions may apply. For more information, call toll-free 1-888-465-8268.
For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
4 Afghan men have been sentenced to death over the mob killing of a woman in Kabul in March.
An Afghan court convicted and sentenced 4 men to death today for their participation in brutal mob killing of a 27-year-old woman in Kabul. The judge also sentenced 8 men to 16 years in prison and dropped charges against another 18 suspects. There are another 19 suspects waiting for the court's decision who will be sentenced on Sunday. The woman was wrongly accused of burning Quran. The March 19 killing of the woman named Farkhunda in central Kabul shocked the country and resulted in countrywide protests and calls for justice.
That's BBC correspondent Wahid Mahfouz reporting from Kabul. A large portion of the Great Plains is under a tornado watch this evening, including North Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska. One tornado touched down in southeastern Oklahoma. This is SRN News. Former House Speaker Jim Wright has passed away at a Texas nursing home at the age of 92.
Wright was first elected to Congress in 1955 and represented a Fort Worth area district for 34 years before being forced to resign as Speaker following an ethics investigation. During his 3 decades in office, Wright was most proud of his work on the interstate highway system as well as water conservation. He also played a major role in helping then President Jimmy Carter fashion the 1978 Camp David Agreement between Israel and Egypt. After leaving Congress, Wright taught a popular political science course at Texas Christian University.
SRN's Wally Hines reporting. The government is going to keep more money in its checking account in case of an emergency. The Treasury Department says it's going to try to run an operating balance of a little more than $200 billion, enough to pay the government's bills for about a week. More details at srnnews.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
Homeowners, there's never been a more affordable time to help protect your home and loved ones. You can now get a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, with the installation of a new ADT monitored system. Call Protect Your Home today at 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. Call now. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, Ph.D., host of Healthline. Join me live to get your questions answered and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family. This month, our Dragon Cleanse LX is on special. This has been studied for its extraordinary ability to bind a wide variety of toxins in the gastrointestinal tract, especially those that have dicarbonyl chemical structures or that bind to calcium-dependent binding sites. Research suggests it doesn't bind beneficial nutrients because of its unique structure. With the ever-increasing amount of toxins in our food and our environment, here's a practical, inexpensive way to mitigate the problem. Buy 2 bottles and get the third one free. Call 800-370-3447. That's 800-370-3447.
Listen to Helpline daily at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on CRN.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Fred Dreyer. Michael Horn, my sidekick, is on assignment, and which is actually code for Mike, making an excuse for Mike. He's probably laying unconscious in a vineyard somewhere. I just know it. I'm not absolutely sure of that. But sitting in for Mike, working the knobs for us, is our good engineer, Tomas. Tomas, thanks for sitting in with us, buddy.
Oh, you're quite welcome, sir. Anytime.
We sure appreciate it. And we've got a couple of things that we want to talk about today, as we usually do. First and foremost, we have a guest today that's going to join us a little bit later on in the show. Jay Johnstone, who everybody knows, is a great ex-professional baseball player. And he's been on this roster since 1966 through 1985 with the California Angels, White Sox, A's, Phillies, Yankees, Padres, Dodgers, and the Cubs. And he's going to join us. What we're going to do is we're going to have Jay comment on some things along the lines of baseball, which is his expertise, and ask him about anything else that he has an opinion about as well. He does have a lot of opinions about a lot of things, and I'd like to hear them. I think you would too. Looking at what is happening today in sports, which is kind of nothing actually. It's a boring basketball playoffs, except for the Clippers' last Game 7 with the San Antonio Spurs. I thought San Antonio would come out of that series, but they didn't, and the Clippers played very, very well, and congratulations to them. And they should get past Houston. And I'm not saying that they might not beat the winner of the Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies are going to give the Warriors a hard time, so we'll see what happens out of that. There's a couple of things. NFL stadium news. There's an interesting thing in the sports page today about the new stadium being built in Inglewood by Stan Kroenke, and that's going to be a very interesting process. We got 3 teams wrangling for a stadium here in Los Angeles. There's no stadiums right now. We've got Stan Kroenke, holding down the fort in Inglewood, and out there in Carson, we're going to have a stadium built for possibly 2 teams, Chargers and the Raiders. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I would not like to see 3 teams here. It's just ridiculous, and I think the Chargers should stay in San Diego. I think they will eventually get something done down near the Petco Park, where the baseball arena or baseball stadium is, down there near the downtown area, the Gaslight area. It's a great area. It could certainly hold another football stadium of 60,000, 70,000 people. But there's some interesting things going on in Inglewood, and give you some insight as to what Kroenke has been doing that allows how he's done what he's done so far, and we'll get into that, and why it gives you hope that there will in fact be the Rams coming back to Los Angeles. How he's gone about that, how he engineered where he is right now, tells you he's serious about it. And we'll get into that. We've got Manny Pacquiao being sued. That'll be great. We're going to talk about the Dodgers, Greinke, Kershaw, and Donnie Baseball. Don Mattingly has some insights on the instant replay sections and the factions. But we'll discuss all of that, and we'll welcome Jay Johnstone when we come back. So hang on, folks. We'll be right back.
PM Show with Fred Dreyer on sports on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Need a great tractor to help with your chores? Get a Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor with financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years during our More Power to You sales event. 0 down, 0% APR financing for terms up to 60 months on select equipment now through June 30th, 2015. Not available for rental, national accounts, governmental customers, or with some customer instant rebate offers. Financing through Kubota Credit Corporation USA, subject to credit approval. Other exceptions may apply. For more information, call toll-free 1-888-465-8268.
For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
Bunnies in the garden.
Yeah, rabbits are cute. Squirrels too, till they ruin your garden, feasting on your plants. Get yourself some Ortho Animal Be Gone. Animal Be Gone uses ingredients that little critters are naturally repelled by, but it won't hurt them. And the no-stink formula works without smelling horrible. Animal Be Gone from Ortho. We don't hurt them. We just chase them. Guaranteed. Learn more about how Animal Be Gone lives up to its name at ortho.com. Use only as directed.
Welcome back to the show. I am your host, Fred Dreyer. With me is Tomas, sitting in for the absent Michael Horn. I'm sure Michael will have some excuses when he gets back in here next week. Jay Johnstone will be with us shortly. But I wanted to get into this Dodger, or I should say this NFL stadium situation before we hit the Dodgers and Kershaw and Greinke and all those things. We all know that the NFL is trying to come back to Los Angeles. There's three teams: Chargers, Raiders, Rams. Rams are ensconced with their owner Stan Kroenke in Inglewood. They've got the land. He's going to build a stadium. He seems to have a turnkey situation there. And everybody's saying, well, gee, how do we know this is really going to happen? And blah, 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 blah. So, the one thing in the newspaper today that I saw that was interesting was an explanation of what Kroenke did in circumventing the California laws and the environmental impact group of people. You know, you can't get anything. You can't put a lemonade stand up anywhere in Los Angeles without having a permit. The police come in and everything else like that. So what he's done is he rather than going to the state or the city of Los Angeles and asking for permission to build a stadium, and going through all the environmental impact agencies, which cost time and money, and in doing so gives the St. Louis Rams, people in St. Louis who want the Rams to stay in St. Louis, gives them time to mount an attack to impress upon the league to make Kroenke stay in St. Louis. So what Kroenke did is he went to the city of Inglewood, and they're private city, got their own police department, they're autonomous. You don't have to go through the city of Los Angeles or anything else. They put it on the ballot. And once you get enough signatures to put anything on the ballot, such as the development of land, wherever it is, as long as the people want it in their community, then you get to bypass all of the government agencies in the state, which is environmental, which can cost you millions of dollars and years of time, literally. And so what Kroenke did was very smart. You know, he spent about $1.7 million to bankroll the ballot initiative for the stadium proposal in Inglewood. And so I'll just read to you something here that I thought was real interesting. And what he's doing, to just give you an idea, though the Inglewood and Carson plans had many costs that aren't disclosed in campaign filings, from architects to lawyers to land deals and so forth and so on, both saved similarly. That is Carson and Inglewood, the people are wanting to build stadiums in each of those places. Both saved similarly big bills because of a new state law that exempts projects proposed by ballot initiative from the environmental impact review process. They didn't have to open up a check. They did have to open up a checkbook though, and write some money in order to do this. But what they did was what Kroenke did was bypass all of this stuff, which now puts a massive amount of pressure on the people in St. Louis, the city of St. Louis, to move fast. And of course, it's going to be tough for them to move as fast as Kroenke has moved. Kroenke has the land. He's got the city. He got the okay from the city to put it on the ballot. He put it on the ballot. They said, yeah, we want it. Overwhelmingly want a stadium here. So he's going forward now. And what he's going to do is he's going to put in a request to the league this summer to move the franchise to Los Angeles. And he's going to have all of his ducks in a row. And the league is now going to be sitting with this thing, with St. Louis really behind in terms of time and money. And he will have to face the wrath of, I guess, what it is you face when you tell the people you're no longer, going to keep the team there. You're going to move it. You're going to move it back to where it belongs. He came from Cleveland and went to L.A. in 49, 50, 51. The Rams won the World Championship in 51, and then they established themselves here for the last 50-some-odd plus years, 60 years. And now you've got them moving to St. Louis, playing in a terrible stadium. It was run poorly. They never did their due diligence according to the contract to keep it up within the top 5 stadiums of the league, which they were like 25th or 26th. They let it expire, and now that Kroenke went out and bought this property, he's got everybody now believing, and rightfully so, that I'm moving the team. And as we talked about a couple of times on this show over the last several months about this, Stan Kroenke stands to gain about $1 billion equity in his franchise by moving his team back to the number 2 market. When Georgia Frontiere, foolishly left here years ago, 20 some odd years ago, she left to get away from, the pettiness of her own incompetence. And so what you wind up getting is, she moved from the number 2 market to the number 22 market. And the value of the team, the brand suffered, as did the team, although it won a Super Bowl there with Dick Vermeil. It's been a terrible venture. They shouldn't have moved there, but they did. Now they're going to move back. Kroenke, I believe, certainly knows the value of moving back. He's got the land, as I say. He got the city behind him, and he did a very smart thing. And he means it. I don't think you're moving. I don't think you're moving this way. This isn't the behavior of an owner who's trying to work a better deal in his city. Right now he's won. Right now he'd go back to them right now and say, okay, here's what I want you to do. Here's the place I want you to build it. This is what I want, and this is how we're going to do it. And they do it. Clearly, they do it. He doesn't want to, because he knows he's going to make another $1 billion by moving his franchise back to Los Angeles. So this is going to be a very interesting thing to see how it plays out. It's also going to be interesting to see how the Carson folks with the Chargers and the Raiders, how they're going to adjust to all of this, because they'll probably do the same thing, probably put an initiative there in the city of Carson and go forth and try to put something together, and if it's one team, or if it's the Raiders, or if it's the Chargers, or if it's both of them. But I'm sure that this is going to be a fun time to see what happens in the league. So when we come back, I think we'll have Jay Johnstone join us. We'll talk about a couple of things Dodgers and a couple of things Major League Baseball, and we'll get into it. So hang in there, and we'll be right back. So stay tuned.
PM show with Fred Dreyer on sports here on CRN Digital Talk Radio, the weekend edition.
You experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Ships developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Ships has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Ships at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drships.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
When you ask for a raise, give your boss a heads up first. Expert Laura Fredericks.
I want to come to you, thank you for your time, to talk about three things. Number one, about the company, how much it raised this year. Number two, my part in it, and I'll show you how I got to that and helped it in quantifiable terms. And third, show and demonstrate why I'm worthy of this 15% raise.
So you're even giving the figure right up front.
I would.
By setting up what the talk will be about, your boss won't be blindsided and can prepare. In the meeting, stay focused. Don't whine about the amount of work you have. Stay on track, relaxed, optimistic. Mention the pride you feel about the specific accomplishments you've done, and proceed down the path you've already laid out, including the amount of the raise you want.
People don't get out the numbers, and that is where the ask can really break down because you're leaving it to chance, and you don't want to do that.
Tomorrow, what to say if your boss says no. Laura Fredericks' book is The Ask. That's Primetime Focus, brought to you by AARP. I'm Aileen Ellis.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Welcome back to the PM Show, the weekend PM Show. I'm your host, Fred Dreyer, along with Tomas, our crack engineer. How you doing over there, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. Enjoying what you're
you're finding the knobs?
Oh,
right?
yes. Okay. I'm finding it very well.
You're not behind the glass partition. You're usually behind the glass partition.
I am.
But now you're here with me. You're sitting in Michael Horn's seat.
I am.
And you fill it out nicely. As we all know, Mike, no doubt Mike is drunk in some venue someplace. He's got to be. He just has to be. He hasn't been seen around here in the last 3-4 days. Anyway, with us, coming on with us right now is our good friend. We've known this guy for a long time. He's just terrific. Former Major League Baseball player and par excellence, great friend, Jay Johnstone. Jay, welcome. Are you there? You should probably turn it on there.
There we are.
Jay, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Jay Johnstone is with us. And, hey, listen, what have you been up to, first and foremost?
Well, right now, I went and had a bunch of tests taken with myself just to make sure I'm healthy.
Yeah.
And you know how you have to do that once a year, go and take all those tests. So I finally got the final one out of the way yesterday. And then, of course, my wife has the honeydew list out in front of me here. So the last 3 days here, I've been helping her do some stuff around the house.
Well, that's what happens when you bring back a clean bill of health.
Oh, I know it.
She says, well, you're healthy now. You better get on you before you fall apart.
That's exactly it.
Huh?
I should have feigned that I have a bad back and Tourette's. But she's struggling a little bit with a sore back, so I said, okay, I'll help you.
Well, this is good. Hey, listen, did you see the fight, Manny Pacquiao fight?
I did. I watched it thoroughly, and I watched the Mayweather bounce around like a jack in the box for 4 rounds. You know?
Yeah. What did you? I mean, there's a lot of criticism on this fight. I saw it with a bunch of friends, and everybody who thinks they know anything about boxing, including me, thought that it might be a pretty good matchup. I was the one thing that I came away with is not who won, who lost, but it's how bad Manny was.
Well, come to find out, he's got a sore shoulder, and they may have to do some operation on it. They don't know. From what I understand, what's come out of from Vegas. And
there's an awful lot of upset people. They've signed they've just filed a $400 million lawsuit against Manny.
Yeah, I saw that, and I can see why.
Yeah.
But, the thing about it was that the judges, from what I understand, he had a chance to get a cortisone shot prior to the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Would have helped him, and they wouldn't do it. And so I think that hurt him bad because he thought he was going to be able to come in and get a cortisone shot, take the pain away for, 3, 4, 5 rounds or something like that. But, he still held it to where the Mayweather only beat him by a couple of rounds, points-wise. But I kind of got when you got a guy that you've got beaten, you go after him. That's the way I think as a boxer. And Mayweather did was bounce around the ring for the last 3 rounds.
Well, he took away everything Manny does, and fought him in the middle of the ring, and was very smart in how he went about taking away the things that Manny does. There was no flurry. He tied him up when he got close to him.
Right.
And Manny barely won 2 rounds.
Yeah.
He barely won 2 rounds. And they were early
Not
in
a good
the
fight
fight
for him.
No, well, it's a terrible fight. I mean, it's a career. It's one of those things that you puts on your. It's not like you lost. It's not like you got beat and get knocked out by Marquez, but it's something that is very definitive of your boxing skill. I mean, he got
you have to wonder,
handled.
Was it worth him fighting with a bad shoulder? You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the other thing. The lawsuit. What in L.A. Times says. The lawsuit alleges that the parties failed to disclose the injury to the Nevada State Athletic Commission and worked to keep it secret, and worked to keep it secret from fans.
Yeah.
Who paid a. Well, here's what's interesting about it. It's up to the governing body. I believe Aguilar, who is the chairman, Francisco Aguilar, stopped Pacquiao from taking a shot before the fight. Well, that's fine, but he also tested Pacquiao and asked him to throw some punches, and he signed off on him. He says, "Yeah, it's okay. You can go. You can fight." So, as far as the lawsuit goes, and we'll discuss this when we get back further, but the lawsuit, is a moot point because once the commissioner says you're fine, you're clear to go, then you're clear to go. So I don't see what the recourse is. It's a tough thing for the fans, but so what?
Yeah, there's nothing they can do because they signed off on it.
Okay, hold on, Jay. We'll be right back with Jay Johnstone and some other things. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Weekend edition of the PM Show on Sports with Fred Dreyer continues straight ahead on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Hi, folks. This is Larry Minetti, and many of you out there suffer from skin problems. Well, I've been telling you for months how to solve that problem. It's called Herpanicin. It's the most unique and effective formula on the market. It cleans your skin from the inside out. It gets rid of all kinds of acne on your back, your neck, your face, so you can feel and you could look like a movie star. Herpanicin is a natural supplement. It was created by Dr. Wayne Diamond and his staff, and trust me, this really works. I've been on these supplements for over a year now and never had a problem. There is no reason in the world to wake up and be afraid to look in the mirror. You trust Larry. Just try it. Call 888-467-4200. 888-467-4200.
You asked for a raise and your boss said, "I'll think about it." Don't be confrontational. Be conversational. Expert Laura Fredericks.
You can't close this ass. You cannot bring it to resolution unless you know what the person's thinking. So I always say to them, thank you for this. Is it the amount or is it the timing? And those are two very different ways to close this ask. Because if it's the amount, well, then we can go, the salary you asked for might be too high at this time. But if it's the timing, it could be you're just not in the cycle to get it, or the budgets haven't been complete. So they didn't say no to the amount. It's just you're not in the right cycle period.
Next, ask, can you share your thoughts with me about why the amount is not feasible now?
When is the date we can revisit it? I always like to put a place marker in to come back, because they didn't say no, never. It's not going to happen. I want to find out when I can go back.
Laura Frederick's book is The Ask. That's Primetime Focus, brought to you by AARP. I'm Aileen Ellis.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson. Attention men who've taken Androgel or any other testosterone therapy products. Androgel or other low-T products have been linked to heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, even death. Scientific studies indicate that the use of testosterone therapy products may double a man's risk of heart attack. If you or a loved one took Androgel or a testosterone therapy product and suffered from a heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, or any other cardiac event, you might be entitled to financial compensation. You have rights, and you need to let us fight for your rights. And you pay no fees unless we win. So call the tort attorneys right now. 800-557-7921. 800-557-7921. That's 800-557-7921. Cases may be referred to participating law firms in your jurisdiction.
Over 2 million families have trusted Lumber Liquidators for beautiful, high-quality, and affordable flooring. Our incredible deals mean you get the floor you want at the low price you deserve, like 5-inch click, pre-finished hardwood. It's as easy to install as laminate, and now it's just 99 cents. Or get solid hardwood for less than you'd pay for laminate at other stores. This week, get 3/4-inch real pre-finished maple for just $169. More deals from 49 cents. And 18-month special financing for quality hardwood floors for less. See the experts today. Visit LumberLiquidators.com to find a store near you.
AJ here from the Tee It Up Radio Network. Each week we cover the world of golf for you. Celebrating 18 years, Tee It Up continues to bring you fresh inside the ropes reporting and one-on-ones with Hollywood's most passionate golfers. So stay in the know with the Tee It Up Show, Sunday morning 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, live right here on CRN, Digital Talk Radio.
Catch the gang from Tee It Up on CRN1 Sundays 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Well, welcome back to the Weekend PM Show with Fred Dreyer. I am your host, along with Tomas, sitting in for Michael Horn. With us is Jay Johnstone, Dodger great. Hey, Jay, we're talking about Manny Pacquiao, and summing that whole situation up. I think that as long as the Nevada State Boxing Commission signs off on him, any lawsuits, any claim that there was intended fraud goes out the window.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm sure that and that's the way it should be. I mean, obviously the fan said, well, that's the reason why he lost. But hey, the guy says he's okay to fight. He fights.
Yeah, and he passes the eye test right before the fight, sure. And he was able to do what they asked him, which was throw punches. But they could have arrested him for a bad performance. I would have agreed with that.
Yeah, that could have happened. But you know what that means, don't you?
Yeah.
Be another $500 million fight in about a year.
No, but what's really crazy about this is that it was universally proclaimed as a bad performance for 12 rounds of 12 rounds of boxing, and it was terrible. It was aggravating to watch it. And the funny thing is that Pacquiao thinks he won the fight.
Yeah, he did. He thought that. I'm thinking.
Let me ask you a question.
How can you do that?
How can you be that expertise in your profession and really have that blind spot like that? I mean, to be able to stand up in front of the world and say, I thought I won the fight, when he barely won 2 rounds.
Wishful thinking.
I don't understand these guys. I don't. I mean, I would know if I got my ass handed to me and say, look, the guy outfought me.
You would
and
think so, wouldn't you?
No, but I don't get things like this, and it makes you even more aggravated when you perform like that, and then you turn right around and say, well, actually, I thought I won the fight.
And the other part of it is, a lot of the fans thought he won the fight.
No, yeah, but those people are really stupid. Those people.
That's what I'm saying.
No, those people
are. What are you going to do?
No, you can't. Fans are wonderful. Every time there was a flurry in the fight, every time Manny started throwing punches, in piston-like fashion, half the stadium just went into a delirious.
Right.
They were just delirious. These people. And they really don't know what you're looking at. I always thought this. I was at a Super Bowl many years ago. I was at the Raider-Vikings Super Bowl in '76 at the Rose Bowl, and I'm sitting there with a friend of mine. It's halftime, and it's clear, to anybody who could see that the Raiders were going to win the game handily, and they're pushing them all over the place. And Minnesota couldn't control the line of scrimmage, offense or defense, and the game was really over at halftime. And so we're sitting there, and I'm looking around, and there's people, yelling and screaming and claiming, go Vikings, go Vikings. And I was telling a friend of mine who was a linebacker for Kansas City at the time. I said, you know what they should do? I said, it's interesting. If it wasn't for, if you put 100,000 coaches and players in the stands to watch this game, it would be silent. You wouldn't see or hear anything.
That's a good way to put it.
You would just say, "Oh, gee, look." The thing would be, "Oh, look, the guy, on the cover 2, the guy was late and the guy got beat over the top." Oh, that's interesting. There'd be no screaming, no yelling. No foot stomping and nothing,
They'd all be making assessments.
Well, yeah, it would just be a real quiet. It would just they'd be making notes, in their spiral notepads, But you put fans out there who don't know anything about anything. They're just driven emotionally. You're going to get those responses. But anyway, I don't think that Manny has anything to worry about in terms of being sued and getting his purse attached. And certainly Mayweather won't have that problem at all. My question is, do you think Mayweather?
I don't think that would happen. It's over and they let it get away. So I think Mayweather what?
Do you think Mayweather's going to have a Brinks truck and film it? A Brinks truck drive to his house with $188 million in cash and dump it in his living room?
It'll be 2 Brinks trucks.
In his, you have to empty the pool to put the money in. But I would absolutely.
Getting sued.
It would be worth it to pay $100 to see that. I'd pay $100 to see the Brinks trucks. How many of you want? Drive $185 million to his house and wheelbarrow it in and fill the pool up with it. Yeah. I'd pay it. That is a pay-per-view experience. Not the rematch. I don't want to see the rematch. I want to see Manny get paid. That's my rematch.
Yeah.
Okay, we move on into baseball a little bit, Jay.
Have to wait till it comes up again.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think the best center fielder of all time is?
Willie Mays.
Yeah. There's a
I tell you what, Mickey Mantle wasn't too shabby either, though.
Well, there is a Major League Baseball has a list out of who consensus wise from 10 to 1 is the best center fielders in Major League Baseball history.
Okay.
And number 10, Kenny Lofton. Which Kenny Lofton. Which I thought was interesting, but here's the other thing I didn't know. He's a leading candidate for the most underrated career. Lofton had a 7-year peak, 7 years of his career, when he averaged 56 stolen bases, 384 on-base percentage, 105 runs scored per season. He remained a solid and effective player all the way through his final season. He played with the Dodgers here he played for as many teams as you did, I think. Almost. But Kenny Lofton, Andre Dawson, Carlos Beltran, Duke Snyder, Joe DiMaggio, Ken Griffey, Mantle was fourth, Tris Speaker third, Cobb number one, and
where was Joe DiMaggio?
And Joe DiMaggio was sixth. You know how many home runs he had? He only had 361 home runs.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think DiMaggio was that good an outfielder. Okay, there were some pretty good outfielders, when you start going through it.
Yeah, Dom was a better defensive player. Anyway, hold on, Jay. We'll be right back.
This is the PM Show with Fred Dreyer. Fred speaking about sports with Jay Johnstone here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Over 2 million families have trusted Lumber Liquidators for beautiful, high-quality, and affordable flooring. Our incredible deals mean you get the floor you want at the low price you deserve, like 5-inch click, pre-finished hardwood. It's as easy to install as laminate, and now it's just 99 cents. Or get solid hardwood for less than you pay for laminate at other stores. This week, get 3/4-inch real, pre-finished maple for just $169. More deals from 49 cents. And 18-month special financing for quality hardwood floors for less. See the experts today. Visit LumberLiquidators.com to find a store near you.
Hi, here's your delivery from Staples.com.
Thanks, Staples guy. My office is starving. Got any snacks?
Staples has pretzels, granola bars, energy bars, trail mix, all at a low price.
Nuts?
Cashews, almonds, pistachios, pecans, walnuts.
Chips?
Potato chips, corn chips, whole grain chips, gluten-free chips.
Whoa, that's a lot of snacks.
We also have antacids. Tablet antacids, liquid antacids.
Make on budget happen, make break time happen. Staples, make more happen. Now at Staples, get a 42-ounce bag of M&M's milk chocolate or peanut candy for just $8.99.
Offer valid on SKU 689508 and 689504 and 523 while supplies last. See store staples.com for details.
Have you ever considered adding a home security system but thought it would be too expensive? Here's the good news. There's never been a more affordable time to help protect your home, valuables, and your loved ones. You can now get a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, with the installation of a new ADT monitored system. Here's even better news. Your new system, worth $850, is free. You pay just a $99 installation charge and purchase monthly monitoring for less than $2 a day. Call Protect Your Home today at 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. Get the peace of mind that comes with owning an ADT monitored system, plus a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home. Call now, 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Fred Dreyer here, your host. Sitting in for Michael Horn is our good friend Tomas. With us on the phone is our good friend Jay Johnstone. Jay,
yes.
I'm looking at the paper the other day. I noticed an interesting, just a little blurb. It was in the Dodger. It was right next to the Dodger column, and here's what it was. Don Mattingly has a problem with the instant replay process, and here's what it is. Mattingly said he had a lot of time to think about baseball's replay system after watching the replay of a Dodger-Milwaukee game.
Uh-huh.
And Tuesday he advocated for some changes. He argued that a replay official can, in New York, when you go in to say, I want you to take a look at this, a replay official in New York can be influenced by the initial ruling on the field, whether it's safe or out. So he said, Donnie Baseball said, the official should be kept in the dark. What he says is the stand thing has got to go, meaning the call stands, whether he's out or safe. He says, let's forget about let it stand, and let's put the official in New York who doesn't know if the player was safe or out. Let the official in New York make a decision on his own, rather than than try to overturn or make something stand. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I got a better one for you. I think that if you're going to have them in New York, you put more than one guy in there. And then they can converse back and forth. What do you think? When you just have one guy, you've only got one opinion. If you got two guys in the booth, then you've got an opportunity to make sure they get it right. Like, hey, look, you said this, but I disagree with you. I think like that. I think they should have two guys in the booth myself.
Well, that's interesting because I've always thought that there was one guy or two guys trying to decide if someone was safe or out, and when it was like the replay in Green Bay when Des Bryant for the Cowboys clearly caught a touchdown pass and crossed the goal line, and they ruled it after looking at it for 15 minutes. They ruled on that, saying that he did not score.
Yeah, I remember that.
When you have something like that happen, you've got to say, just a second. Football, Major League Sports, Major League Baseball, NBA, whatever it might be, hockey, cannot stand if you can't convince people that, yes, what you're seeing is what you're seeing. Constantly, you're being mesmerized by this thing called inconclusive evidence. It's inconclusive, not to me or to about 10 million people that watched it. It's not inconclusive. It's not inconclusive to us. It is to you jerks who are there trying to figure out how to be correct about this.
Better than that. Remember when Don Deckinger blew the call at first base?
Oh, geez, a no hit. You mean the no hitter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Like night and day.
Why didn't the umpire come up the first baseline and say, "Hey, wait a minute, I saw that."
Yeah.
I don't.
They don't want. You know why they don't want to show the other umpire?
Well, that's the problem.
And that's the bad part.
That's the big time problem here. But Donnie Baseball's correct about that. He should just simply say, "I'm going to give you something to look at. We're not going to tell you if he's safe or out. We want you to take a look at this and tell us what you think." Because what that does is that takes away the inconclusive place to hide. If he says, well, he's safe.
I agree with you 100%.
If he's safe, if the guy's safe at second base, he steals second base and he gets in there, he's safe. And then the guy in New York says, well, he's safe. I got to overturn this. Well, there's nothing inconclusive to do it. But if he doesn't know there's a decision already been made, or he's not being told what the decision is, then he can't use, well, it's inconclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
And so
that's why
what
I think they have to have more than one. Okay.
Well, yeah, I can say, and that's the other thing. I don't know, I don't know who's back there. I don't know when they send it to New York. I don't know how many guys are up there. Is he sitting there drinking coffee?
Got one.
Is he asleep? They wake him up with the bell and say, "Hey, you got to take a look at something here."
He's reading the newspaper.
No, exactly. He's down the hall. He's smoking a cigar, outside the room and say, "Hey, they just sent something in from Houston. You got to take a look at it." Oh, yeah. And he runs down the hall, gets behind it says, "All right, what is it?" He goes, "Well, there's a guy, he's out at second base." Yeah, he looks like he's out to me. So.
You know what, the other thing that bugs me is that, if an umpire makes a call and there's some skepticism about it, they never ask for help. They never go, "Hey, look, did I blow that, or what did you see?"
Yeah, exactly.
They don't want to be showing up.
Okay, let me ask you, Jay. Let me ask you from your expertise, being on the field. How many times did something like that just drive you crazy, and you were just wanted to scream or yell out or get some sort of satisfaction? I mean, that has to
because you can actually see it, especially like plays at home plate, where the umpire gets caught behind the catcher and doesn't see the right tag or doesn't see if his foot goes over the plate or whatever, something happens. That's when you got to say, "You know what? I got blocked out." Call the first base umpire. Call the first base umpire. "Hey, what did you see?"
Jay, I want to thank you for joining us. We're running out of time here. We're going to have you back as the season progresses, and I want you to have a great weekend. Thanks for being here.
Freddie, always a pleasure, buddy.
Okay, bud. We'll be right back, folks.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-351-8614. That's 800-351-8614. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-351-8614.
Welcome back to the PM Weekend Sports Show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Fred Dreyer, sitting in today. Tomas, thank you so much for being here, buddy.
You're welcome, sir.
Maybe we'll send out the dogs and see if we can drag Mike back. I'm sure he'll be in here tomorrow, the next day, wherever the heck he's been. But in thinking about this thing, the word inconclusive. It's such a catch-all excuse, I think, especially in instant replay. But the more I'm thinking about it, the more that this thing with Don Mattingly, his complaint about sending a decision back to New York to be looked at by a or two or three people, probably one person, should be given to that person blindly without him knowing what the call has been on the field.
Sure.
And that way you can get him to make a decision and not fall back on, well, it's inconclusive, which is a scapegoat cop-out.
I agree with you. Totally.
And if you don't have enough camera angles to cover the field, to fit it into a instant replay lament, you shouldn't be broadcasting baseball games. You've got to be able to say, we've got this thing covered every which way. We've got 5 cameras on each base or whatever it might be.
You're right.
We can tell if the guy was thrown out, or if, the other day the guy was the umpire thought that the batter, he actually struck out. He thought he foul tipped the ball. But he didn't. The ball made the noise off of the catcher's mitt. And so that's what he heard. He says, no, it's a foul tip. And the guy said, no, he missed it. And the batter was standing there going, gee, shut up, I got another pitch. He grounded out, the guy, but the point is, a lot of things get missed. And some things you have to let go, like that instance right there.
Right.
But there's other things now that are reviewable. There shouldn't be anything that should be inconclusive.
No, I think basically you got to get it right. Like we were talking off mic, that you got to have attention to detail.
So you don't think there's anything wrong with Kershaw, do you? Do you think there's anything wrong? You think he should start drinking before every start now?
No.
No.
I'm not a believer in
you don't
having
think he
anything.
should. You don't think he should start drinking?
No.
No?
No.
I don't know, Tomas. You may want to think that. You may want to rethink it.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Well, take the edge off. It looks like he's a little nervous in the seventh inning. You want to be able to make sure that the guy's throwing what he should be throwing. I think that the catcher should bring a little something in his glove, so when he goes out there to the pitcher's mound, he gives him a little something. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another show that's gone by the wayside. We sure always appreciate your listenership, and I get a lot of tweets, and I sure appreciate that. There's a lot of folks out there listening to our show. There's a lot of folks out there who are very very loyal to the PM Weekend Show. And so with that, we just want to thank you so much for checking in with us and being here. Again, Tomas, thank you.
You're welcome.
And, I'm sure that Mike will be back after his vigil, wherever he's been, and then we'll continue. And before I say goodbye, I just want to say to you that no matter where you go, we are listenable. We are available. Just crntalk.com and
Correct.
You'll find us. And with that, I will just simply say, Tomas, have a great weekend, buddy.
Same to you, sir.
Thanks, folks, for joining us. We will see you all next time.
That was your theme. Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all in true CRN HD audio. Sports, business, travel, food, wine, politics, there is something for everyone, and it's all available in CRN High Definition Sound. Log on to www.crntalk for listings and information on all your favorite shows. That's www.crntalk.com.
The radio channel. The radio channel. CRN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A high-ranking State Department employee testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee today that it is not acceptable for any agency employee to conduct government business on a private email server like former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton did.
The actions that we've taken in the course of recovering these emails have made it very clear